All right. So let's talk quickly about Overwatch 2 on Steam. It'll be a time where we can actually, how you say, track the player count actively. I think this is a great thing, just to mock and laugh at the dumpster fire. But honestly, as much as I want to watch it go up and burn due to my own personal reasoning, and to the chagrin of a lot of PvE players, this will likely see a burst of players in Overwatch 2. Now, I'd like to see the numbers on this in about between now and 6 months from now, monthly, right? See how much of a jump it gets, see what happens. On top of that, there's a whole league that might just crumble, etc., etc., etc. I'm sure everybody's heard about that already. But I mean, who pays attention to the league anyway? I stopped paying attention to the league after the first year. It was boring. Goats. Goats killed it for me. Anyway, um, so what's really interesting is behind the scenes, I've heard that. Now here's a article by the Loadout, I guess. Sam Comrie. They published this 4 days ago, apparently. It's talking about how Call of Duty games are returning to life on Xbox Live servers, while Microsoft is sealing the deal on Activision. Now, here's the crazy thing: Activision's really bad at business. They're really bad at live service. And as far as I can tell, so is Microsoft. But at least they have a couple things going for them. They have their Game Pass, which has been a boon for all players. It's like the Walmart of video games for sure, and it's going to hurt a lot of other developers and platforms due to how frugal you can be with it. However, good games are still selling despite not being or not being on Games Pass. So I think that's great. It's great. It's not just turned into one big stream service. But them turning on older servers for previous Call of Duty games is actually super big. That's very customer friendly. Um, and I really like that. I think, well, I'm not a Call of Duty fan, but I really like that. I think that's a huge step. And I'm just, if they do this, who's to say they won't put money into old franchise games like Jack and Dexter or whatever the fuck Activision owns. Activision Blizzard own a lot. So I'm really excited to see where they go with that. I'm still waiting for Fable. The next thing I thought was important to note during this period of time is Jimquisition did a video on Bethesda treating a trans person, and if you know me, I'm a trans person, so this kind of hits home as per usual. Um, yeah, they just treat, they ostracize and use some really conniving language and just don't listen to their uh, previous employee at this point, from what I understand. Yeah, so check out this video for more on this. But safe to say, with Starfield coming out, this is going to get crushed under the wake of excitement for yet another mediocre fucking game. I've said it personally and to a few people around me that I am excited that Starfield looks promising. I'm excited for building a ship, but I am definitely not paying full price for it. I'm tempted to not even boot it up until, I don't know, till it's irrelevant, you know, or it doesn't have any traction, where they don't track the metrics, as it were. Essentially, we're all just a single blip on everything. So, it's very disappointing, but it's not surprising. That's the worst thing. It's just not fucking surprising. Um, to be surprised at this point that workplace discrimination for trans people and the way that leadership or fellow co-workers or company policies treat and out trans people in general is just, it's just atrocious. Why do you think so many people stay in the closet, or like, don't come out in their own workplace? Like, it's terrible. So that's not really fun. Now, while I was getting these notes together to talk about the entertainment industry, gaming specifically, um, I was reminded of, something else I wanted to talk about, which would be the Young Turks. Now, there's a lot of controversy about, like, the hard, rigid stance of Anna K and Chenk. I don't actually know if I know their last name's initial. Anyways, the two main hosts of there. Oh, the names are right here actually. Chenk Yu and Anna K. No, I'm not gonna try to pronounce their last names. That's not. I don't get paid for that. Not enough money. Look for my Patreon. Please give me money. So here's the thing. Um, Having a rigid stance on something that is, by all accounts and purposes, transphobic, and they could have just easily just corrected and moved on. There was no need for this vitriol to even come up, but it's been very clear that this has been kind of like problematic since at least 2021 or 2021. I don't know how to say that officially. Other than that, I myself speculated that TYT was taking some weird takes on stuff. I'll get into that here in a second, but let's talk about the current stuff. So, the whole Benny situation and the kerfuffle with, like, misgendering them, and in an exit statement on air, it's such bad timing. It feels on purpose. I want to try and give the benefit of the doubt. Reasons I'm not really great at speaking, but I mean, if you've worked with someone for and had them as your employee for, I don't know how long Benny was there for, maybe a year or two, maybe more. I haven't actually looked into that. Thank you, Kaliko, for helping. So, gendering, when you speak to someone has a gender identity, and you talk about them in the third person, likely because you're their boss, it pains me to see that they're misgendering them. Because, bless couple of some really close people to me, they still misgender me. Um, and they still fuck it up. I definitely don't pass openly. I'm not trying to slip under any radar. I am a trans woman. I couldn't give two shits, frankly, that I look openly trans. I'm making peace with that. I'm making peace with myself and my voice. However, it sure sucks when, like, people you've known for a while, especially I professionally, I know every time I got misgendered while I was still working in retail, it sucks. And, like, I don't know. that's kind of a that's a pretty big slight personally, in my opinion. But say Benny doesn't take it personally quite so much as the other things, which I think are much more prone to being vitriol. I want to move on past this point right now. So basically, the mental the mental ram that Anna had making that statement should have been a little bit more dedicated in the fucking moment. Instead, she misgendered live on air. So cool. Um, the Twitter statement from Cenk about the whole someone's too holy for blah 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 blah. Fucking Cenk's. They're both dumpster clowns at this point. They're just rage bait. I'm so tired of seeing any clip about them recently. I haven't been watching them for a couple years now because it got to the point when I found out about them about 2020, 2021, and I started watching their stuff, and I realized fairly young on that, like, they're very angry and passionate about their stuff, but it gets very tiring. I don't know how they do it. Cocaine? I don't know. Good on you if you can afford cocaine to do that. Whatever the case is. If they're actually like just well energized for all of this shit. So my biggest problem is that I found them to be very excitable. And that's not that bad, especially if they have really good points and they're open to criticism, but they're not lately. And that's a problem. But something I noticed, something that I noticed somewhere back in 2021 was when I started to really like lean away from watching their crap. And I say crap because honestly, everyone's got their bit. Everybody's reporting on shit. Everybody's got their crap, right? Whatever. Um, they're too big not to make crap, right? Needless crap. Reiterating points that are just brain dead. You know, like obviously the Democrats are going to be fucking step stools for corporations, and obviously the Republican Party base is centered on hate and all that shit. The thing that's I found really crazy is I can't find it, and I looked for it for a good half an hour to see if I could find it again. There was this moment, there's this video where I don't believe the focus was on Cori Bush. I think she's Missourian, congresswoman in the States. So the crazy thing is, Cenk, I remember this distinctly. Cenk and Anna, and I'm really bad with pronunciation, so if I'm mispronouncing Cenk's name, that's just because I guess, ignorant. Sure. My bad. I didn't watch their intro or anything or listen to his name before streaming this because I don't really think the effort is worth it, especially since lately they're not taking the effort to be criticized seriously. So, yeah. Anyway, so Cori Bush was discussing, well, as it says here, the Democrat made the comments while discussing how doctors dismissed her pain during her 2 pregnancies. She had the fucking audacity to use a gender neutral term while talking about medical shit for people who can give birth. Oh my goodness. So of course the right blew up on this shit. Obviously, because they're transphobic as shit. Now, I say if you're gonna make an easy target, it just shows who's shooting those guns of hate. So good on them for using that terminology, especially in a professional setting. Like, Congress is supposed to be professional, right? So they use it in a professional setting. They were even talking about some of the medical situation that they were dealing with. And so part of the discussion was personal, yes. Part of the discussion was medical, yes. It doesn't need to be exclusively one or the other to use the term birthing person. It's just inclusive language. It's really brain dead. We should just be using it more often, period. The best way to do it is to start fucking doing it. Just use the term where it's applicable. Don't make a big deal out of it. Now, when I watched the clip about Anna and Cenk just ripping into her to her bringing this up in a Congress setting, what better of a fucking place to bring it up? Why wouldn't you bring it up there? Why wouldn't you just use it wherever you need to? They made a big deal about like how it's not helping your cause, how blah 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 fucking stupid pouring out of their goddamn face holes. Here's the thing. This happened in 2021, and since then, that was the writing on the wall for me. Recently, with the whole birthing person tweet and all that shit, that was just basically the wall fucking gushing blood, as far as I'm concerned. Um, do I think TYT is explicitly transphobic? As a whole, no. What they are doing right now is. What they have done is. You don't have to always be transphobic. It's not a label that you just tie to something like a dishwasher is a Samsung and it's going to be a Samsung forever. It's a thing that's an action. Transphobia is an action. People can stop being transphobic. People can become transphobic. You don't just irreparable. Oh my god, I cannot fucking speak. You cannot just simply be one or zero in this case. People have moments. Just like bigotry, racism, on very bad taste in shoes or music, pineapple on pizza. People change. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That's pretty much my appeal on that. Why I can't find the video specifically where they were giving Cori Bush a hard time is beyond me. Do I believe in some like tinfoil hat fucking theory that perhaps they scrubbed it because they had someone bring it up that, hey, maybe you shouldn't have reamed on them for using inclusive language, because fuck people being comfortable. God forbid we make using inclusive language a norm by just simply making that fucking space. No, 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 no. We gotta make sure that the Republicans are cozy, that the conservative Democrats are cozy. Nah, fuck that. That's pretty much all I got to say. Um, Other than that, this week I've been really missing um, the hardcore PTR for World of Warcraft Classic Vanilla. That's been a lot of fun. I've been streaming that. I stream that most of my games on YouTube now because Twitch is a platform I just don't believe in. I am, however, going to drop a video every week, and I'm going to record them, post them up as a podcast under Brain Journey. Yep, this is now a podcast. Suck it, nerds. Just kidding, but kinda. Anyway, this segment was brought to you by breathing fucking air and not being stupid, I hope. And, I I really, really hope for their sake that they just fucking do a U-turn and just sort their shit. There's such a big. It just makes me upset that there's such a big platform and can just essentially feed hate by making these statements so stubbornly and not retracting them when shit tons of the community have reached out and said, hey, this is hurtful. Hey, this is problematic. Hey, this is transphobic. Any way that you say that, it's all the same shit. Drink some water. I'll look at my Patreon. Cheers.